Here we go. I guess it's good afternoon now. It's been a long week. Our suspect from yesterday's incident up at Fox 45 is a 25-year-old Michael Brizzi. Michael Brizzi of the 6300 block of Duckett's Lane in Elkridge, Maryland, and that's in Howard County. I believe his information's up on the screen. We have an arrest warrant for Brizzi, charging him with the following crimes: second-degree arson, that's a felony; first-degree malicious burning, that's a felony; and the following misdemeanors: threat of arson, 4 counts of reckless endangerment, and 1 count of possessing a phony destructive device. If we can go to the aerial view. To recap, it was yesterday around 1:20 p.m. when the Baltimore Police Department and the Baltimore City Fire Department responded to the studios of Fox 45 on 41st Street in North Baltimore in the iconic TV Hill area of our city. We quickly found out that a bomb threat had been called into the network. Shortly thereafter, a fire was set to a vehicle in the parking lot. Brizzi had entered the building and was engaged in a conversation with a security contractor in the vestibule of the building. The security contractor was speaking to him through the glass, and the door was secured where you would have to be buzzed in from the vestibule to the rest of the building. The security contractor, who, by the way, I'm going to try to hire, observed what appeared to be an explosive device or explosive devices strapped to Brizzi. The security contractor was able to alert the staff of the situation, and they simultaneously began evacuating the building. All the while, the security contractor continued to speak with Brizzi, who possessed a USB flash drive. Brizzi said he wanted to air the contents of that flash drive on television. What we know at this point is that the flash drive contained video rants of Brizzi talking about the end of the world. We're still examining the contents of that flash drive today. If we can go to the next picture, I think it's the front view of Fox 45. The Baltimore Fire Department was able to extinguish the fire that was set to the vehicle before they retreated. After all the Fox 45 employees were able to evacuate from the building, the security contractor was able to make his escape out of the back door. Again, I can't say enough about what he did yesterday, and he's absolutely a hero. Brizzi stayed in the secured vestibule area of the front entrance to the building. The Baltimore Police Department immediately dispatched our arson unit, our bomb squad, our SWAT team, our negotiators, our special operations, and other additional patrol officers to the scene. After conferring with management at Fox 45, we were able to verify that all of the staff were out of the building, and that was really, really important. Were we dealing with someone who was in there by himself, or were we potentially dealing with a hostage situation? So that evacuation and the verification of the employees and their names and accounting for them when they get out of the building was really key yesterday. We were also able to verify that all police officers and firefighters were accounted for. We were then able to observe Brizzi in the vestibule area in what we know now to be a hedgehog onesie and a surgical mask. This outfit appears to be something associated with the Japanese anime culture. As public safety assets continued to arrive, Brizzi stayed inside of the vestibule. We had not yet made any contact with him, and the area of the vestibule did not have and does not have a telephone. If we can go to the...
And just real quick, as the commissioner's speaking, this is that vestibule area that he's speaking of, and Brizzi's car was parked in this parking lot, so relatively close to the actual front entrance of it. So as the commissioner is describing the vestibule, it's literally this box right in here, and that's what the commissioner is describing right now.
Okay. So now fast forward, and now it's approximately 3 p.m. Brizzi, on his own, exited the building. SWAT officers were positioned close by in the parking lot, and they gave him many, many, many verbal commands to stop and comply. Brizzi refused and continued to advance toward officers who were staged across the street. Brizzi had one hand in his pocket, and the device that appeared to be an explosive device still strapped around his torso. After failing to comply with repeated commands, police officers fired upon Brizzi, striking him 3 times. 3 officers discharged their firearms at Brizzi. Maybe we can go to the next picture. I think that'll show the devices. I think there's a few of them.
Yes.
Brizzi went down, but kept his hand on some sort of detonator device. He was conscious and alert as officers gave commands to him. And as we explained yesterday, we wanted to rush to him. He was obviously injured. He was shot. We wanted to render first aid, but we absolutely, positively couldn't do that because he still had his hand on what appeared to be a detonator-type device, and he was still strapped with what appeared to be explosive. So we were not able to rush and give him aid immediately because he still posed a significant immediate threat to everyone around that area, which is obviously a residential community as well. At that point, we utilized a robot that is usually used by us to investigate suspicious packages, and that robot approached Brizzi. We continued to talk to Brizzi, and he continued to be non-compliant. We really wanted him to get his hand out of his pocket and off that device. The robot was able to disarm and disrobe Brizzi. We were eventually able to secure the vest that was outfitted like an explosive device to render aid to Brizzi. He was transported to the University of Maryland Shock Trauma in serious but stable condition. His injuries are still described as non-life-threatening. Once Brizzi was removed from the scene, detectives were able to determine that the device that Brizzi had around himself was a life preserver. The life preserver was outfitted with wires, and chocolate candy bars were wrapped in aluminum foil that were dangling from this life preserver that was wrapped around his torso. The wiring led to a motherboard that appeared to have been taken from a smoke detector. I guess you can see that there. And then it had wires running down his sleeve, and that wire that ran from the motherboard down his sleeve was attached to what looked like to be a detonator-type device.
Which I don't know if it's